Welcome in, guys, to a recap every single NFL team for the 2021 season. I am back again in the NFC South with the Carolina Panthers. And 2021 season, it was a season for asking a lot of questions if you're a Panthers fan. Like, who was going to be the quarterback in Carolina? And your answer was Sam Darnold from the Jets. This was a guy that was, um, you traded him, you got Sam Darnold from the Jets, who was once a third round pick, and in the draft 3 years later, the Jets are trading away Sam Darnold to the Panthers. And then you start off with a 3-0, and you're like, whoa, this is good. Matt Rule's second season, he's got another quarterback that didn't work out in New York. He's bringing it into Carolina and trying to see if it works there. Didn't work. You had to trade Cam Newton back from New England, and it was just a dumpster fire. You end up at the end of you end up having like a 2-12 losing streak at before one of the bye weeks. Then you end the regular season in a 5-12, fourth in the NFC South. And in my opinion, this is the reason why, like, you traded away a potential quarterback from last year's draft. You could have got maybe like a Mac Jones, or you could have got a Justin Fields, but you wanted to keep with Sam Darnold, and you had Cam Newton come back. And you was fourth in the NFC South. But what I don't get about this with Matt Rules is that why would you draft a corner in like one of the was it like the eighth round? You drafted a corner. Like, you're prioritizing the defense over the offense. This is not early 2000s, late 1990s fucking NFL where it's solely defense that wins you a football game. It's the 2020s. We're in 2022 now. It's all about the offense. If we're gonna take about any example, if I talk about, since I've been doing this series on this channel where I recap every single NFL team, what do I talk about mainly? I talk about the offense. Look at the Bengals as prime examples. I don't keep mentioning them, but prime example is the offense of the Bengals. They had weapons around Burrow, but and more importantly, they had an elite quarterback. Now, this was a guy that I was calling out Burrow beginning of the season, saying he was mid, or he was not the dude in Cincinnati, and I was wrong. I was proven wrong. Yes, he got sacked 7 times in the Super Bowl, but I was proven wrong. But he had weapons around him, and the defense wasn't that great, but it doesn't matter because the offense was the important thing. Now, you look at this draft class, it's not the best draft class, but you're gonna have to take a gamble because you got a little bit of cap space, but you're gonna have to take a gamble on somebody in the draft, maybe like Kenny Pickett or a Malik Willis, Matt Corral, Desmond Ridder, somebody like that. But I would say like a Malik Willis. We should go for a Malik Willis. They have Hasten Rickson, who's a free agent. They have Stephen Slimbo, who's a free agent. They fired their offensive coach, Joe Brady, but you didn't fire Matt Rules, the guy that is making these decisions, whose decision is to draft this guy and that guy. This is his second season in Carolina, but you don't want to fire him. You had Christian McCaffrey, who only had 7 games in the season. Like I said, you can get rid of Christian McCaffrey. He's not worth keeping at this point. You traded for C.J. Anderson and Stephen Gilmore, again 2 defensive players. And then you was 27. You had 8 games where you gave up 27 points or more. Then I want to talk about the stats that we had. So we had rushing. We had Chuba Hubbard, who had 17 games, 10 started, 72 attempts, 612 yards, 5 touchdowns for the season, 10.1 on average. And DJ Moore, 17 games started, 17 played, 8 attempts, 448 yards. You got Foreman, the people that they have in on this offseason. Foreman came in from the Titans, Higgs from the Browns, Joe Jackson from the Chiefs, again, a defensive end you need to work on. Only offensive player that you've got is Higgs. And and then you went for like the front office is a dumpster fire as well. Bringing back Cam Newton when you needed a quarterback. I know Cam Newton was there, but he's you cannot be starting the 2022 season with Cam Newton and Sam Darnold as your starting quarterbacks. The offense needs work, but the most important thing that needs work is the quarterback position. Until you get that fixed, forget about all the other things because it doesn't matter. The quarterback you need a good franchise quarterback, and you're gonna have to. This draft class isn't the best, but you're gonna have to go with somebody in the draft and build around that fucking dude. Build around to get an offensive lineman, get left tackle, right tackle, another wide receiver, and you build around this fucking dude. That's what you gotta do. And now Tom Brady's back in the NFC South. Are you gonna win the division? I don't know. Like Matt Rules, I'm gonna get this is, in my opinion, this has got to be Matt Rules' last season in Carolina because if I'm the front office in Carolina and then you're finishing fourth in the NFC South, now I know there was Brady and the Buccaneers who was first, and they had they're the best team in the division. But you look at the Saints who are in transition. You look at Atlanta who are in transition. You've got to at least get that second place, and that's what your benchmark should be. And leave your guys' thoughts on Carolina Panthers season in the comments. Peace.